Hey guys, welcome to another YouTube video. And today I'll be going in depth into one of the cold email campaigns I ran for myself. And I'll just be sharing like how it went. You know, the thing about running a business is that it's not always smooth sailing. Sometimes things don't go as you hope, as you plan. But the good thing is that the only thing you lose is time, and you're able to always just learn from those mistakes. So that's what I'm going to be doing in this video, just showing how I've learned from my mistakes, what those mistakes were. And hopefully if you guys are running cold email campaigns for your own businesses, your own AI automation agencies, anything that you do and you're trying to get the word out there, you guys won't fall into the same mistakes I did. And I'll also be showing you some of the changes I'll be making so that my own campaign will go well the next time I try this. So just to kind of go quickly in depth, for this cold email campaign, I ran over 3,000 emails sent. And the way I send these emails, I have AI automation processes in NA10 that automatically scrape leads from Apollo, use Apify scrapers to achieve that. I use Lead Magic for my enrichment, and then I add those to Instantly.ai, which handles the warm-up of the mailboxes and the sending of the emails. At this time, I was using Google Workspace as the place where I was using my mailboxes from, but now I've actually switched over to Xamail for the cost savings. So, if we're breaking down the metrics, I had 30 total replies from this campaign. So 30 replies is really not that bad. But, if you think about the amount of negative ones, 23 were flat out no's, right? So that's what we had there. And then we had about 7, I would say, that were positive, like they showed some sort of interest. But the thing about it is you get a reply from someone, especially when you're running a cold email campaign. It doesn't really matter like if they send you a good email, right? The only thing is that shows a little bit of interest, but if there's no follow up to the email you sent, then obviously that's a lost lead, right? So that's what happened to me. I had 7 people who were interested, but then of those 7, only 2 of those people I was able to convert into meeting booked, yeah. And then after that, of those 2 people, I had 0 closed deals. To be honest, one of them just said the sales cycle hadn't started, so they weren't ready to onboard. So that's actually a lead I'm going to have to reactivate later in the coming months. But one was just a flat out no. And so, what does that come up to, right? That's about a 0.22% positive reply rate. And, you know, overall, like, I would say like this is definitely disappointing. But you know, we're going to talk about what the issue is, right? Because I'm not mad. Every campaign is a data point, like I was saying. And here I'm just going to be sharing with you guys what I learned. So let's go to the takeaways, right? 0 clients, sure, from cold email, but I have way better clarity now, right? I have a better understanding of, you know, what niches are probably going to work for me. I have a better understanding of what niches don't work, what offers work, what offers don't work, what email sequences work, what email sequences don't work, right? So now I have better systems and I've been able to test more, right? So again, it's all about what you learn from your L's. That's the only thing that matters. So the thing I really want to touch on here is like niches matter, right? Like there's probably one thing I should have thought a bit more about, and I'm going to show you guys right here what my niches look like. So I did African tech startups, med spa owners, and cybersecurity firms, and travel agencies, right? And for example, like I got a lot of responses from travel agencies. As you can imagine, travel agencies pay a lot of attention to their emails because that's how people contact them for bookings. But the issue there was the offer I had for the travel agencies wasn't good. I was offering them to create automation systems that would help them build itineraries. But the thing is, if you're a travel agent, you're not really that interested in building something that's going to replace your job, right? There might be other parts of your business that you'd prefer to be automated, but that's one thing that is not. And so that was a mistake I had made, is trying to offer them, I can actually show you guys like the sequences I was sending, right? So I was saying, hey, I'm turning from China Lab, curious if you're currently accepting inbound. Do you handle each of an autoresponder? We build. So that was one I had. I've actually changed this, right? So here I have tracking payments and invoices. We set up AI agents to do that, right? So the first one I actually had before I changed this was I was asking them if they wanted an itinerary builder, and like nobody responded to me. In fact, I had some people who literally told me, why would I want something that replaces my job? And that just made me understand, okay, I really don't understand the needs of the industry very well. And so I kind of switched to trying to see if they'll prefer an autoresponder. Again, that because I know that their emails are very important. And then I switched to the invoices because I know tracking down invoices from customers can be a pain. So again, understanding your niche, understanding the promise of your niche. I always recommend, if you can go into a niche where you actually have been a part of, like before starting your agency, or like, people inside of there, like family members, colleagues, then that's always the best thing because you know exactly what the problems are and you can build for them. For me, I'm into travel. I love travel. I do a lot of award travel. I even have a separate YouTube channel covering that, but I'm not a travel agent. I don't know any travel agents. And so I think that kind of was not good for me when it came into, the cold email offers I was sending out. If we look at the other campaign, the African Tech Startups campaign was actually pretty good. And so, a lot of people actually were responding to me through this, and this is where I got like the most of interest. And I think it makes sense because again, I'm in tech. I've built startups before. And so I kind of understand what are the problems, right? When it comes to lead generation, there are so many issues that I've faced as myself. And so when I'm saying those, it's easier for me to speak the language of another tech founder from Africa. So I think that might lead to why this one made the most sense for me. I also reached out to cybersecurity firms. This one was probably the worst. Like, I literally had no responses from the cybersecurity firms. And I think, if you think about it, I'm sending cold emails to cybersecurity firms. Their systems are probably so mature that it doesn't even get through. You know what I mean? So that might have been part of me not understanding that industry where it's like, okay, I can't be sending these kind of cold emails to cybersecurity firms when their systems don't even accept such emails to get past their spam filters. So that might have just been the issue for me, really. And then mess bar owners was another one. I think this is a good niche. I just think the saturation is so crazy that like probably every single person I've reached out to has already been reached out to somebody else like 10 times a day with the same offers, right? So I think this is just the case of my messages not being able to come through to an industry that is so saturated with people looking to offer them AI automation tools. So kind of just going back to the whole point, niches matter. And, the niche that worked for me was a niche that I'm actually a part of. I'm an African tech startup founder, and that's the niche I reached out to, and that's the niche that responded to me. So I think just thinking deeply about the niches is really going to help you guys with running your cold email campaigns. And so another thing is follow-up drop-off, right? So we talked about here, 7 people were positive to respond, but only 2 meetings booked. Why is that? So probably the issue is when I follow up with people, I say, hey, would you like to book a call with me? It's probably not strong enough, right? Probably maybe what I could do better, and is what I'm going to do in my next campaign, is as soon as they reply interest, I send them a demo link showing exactly how I'm going to solve their system. Send them a Loom video, and I'll just go through everything, right? So instead of just saying, hey, book a call, it's more of like, hey, look at this value. This is a Loom video showing exactly your system. Now book a call with me because I can build this out for you. And I think that would probably yield a better result. So, again, for you guys, just think about how can you pack as much value into each interaction you have with the customer, right? So for me, when I did this campaign, I literally just put it out there without really showing the value. I would just say, hey, thank you for your interest. Book a call with me. They might have been interested to respond once. Doesn't mean they just want to continue talking to me, right? So at that point that they give me the validation to show that value, I need to follow up with the value. And that's my advice to you guys and to myself as well for next time. So the next thing we also want to talk about is the copy and offer, right? And this is what I think usually is the key to successful cold email campaigns, right? So as if we go back to one of the ones I was showing you, so yeah, we can take one. This one didn't work, right? So here, this is the copy. I have the personalization, which I use AI to generate based on different fields from the company's LinkedIn and their website. I can show you guys that automation in another video. So here we see, right, that, once I send to the Meta owners, I'm saying, hey, probably you guys, need help with managing your social media engagement and lead generation. My agency, we help clients automate their outreach. They into 30% increase in leads, and all these things, right? So it's a decent copy, but again, it's something that can be improved, right? There's so many courses out there on how to improve your copy. I'm not going to claim to be an expert copywriter. So I think this is probably one part of my business that I can definitely invest in, grow in, and hopefully that can like make things just continue to go, forth and be better. And also the offer, right? So if we go back to the one that basically did work for me and we look at the sequences, right? I was offering them, hey, I have this system that can book 10 plus meetings in 30 days, right? Which I have actually done for other clients. So it's a true thing. But obviously it depends on, again, the copy, the offer, the lead list, right? But again, if the system works, 10 plus meetings in 30 days is completely doable. And so the thing here was, this was the one that did work. This is the one that worked more than the other ones I had shown. And so, and another thing I think that just comes with knowing the industry, knowing your niche is, okay, can I come up with an offer with a copy technique that provides results? And, that's the thing I need to kind of make sense, right? I think another thing I was saying was I would work for free versus giving maybe a guarantee, right? So maybe instead of just saying I'll work for free, it's better for me to really show what does my free work come with? What does it entail? What are they actually going to get out of it? Just saying someone's going to work for free, that can also come off as like a scam or something, right? That's not always going to convince people. So you need to show the value and be like, hey, I'm really ready to provide a lot of value to you at a low cost or at a free cost. And once you've provided so much value to you, then at that point you can almost quote whatever you want, right? So, again, next time, make sure that I understand the niche, make sure that the copy is very good with all the like historical copywriting techniques, and then make sure that that offer is like a banger. Okay, let's talk about the tooling, the infrastructure, right? So with my cold email automation lead generation system, there were a few issues I had, right? So for the personalization, initially I had tried to test with DeepSeek to see if I could save costs running on DeepSeek. Now the thing with DeepSeek is it's a good model, but it does have some issues. I was literally getting Chinese characters in some of my personalization attempts after passing in the data into DeepSeek. So I would say you just have to make sure that, I've talked about this in one of my other videos, is you can run evals on your agents to make sure that you don't get like crazy results. Make sure that you verify the outputs of at least a significant amount, especially if you're running a system for the same time. And sometimes it's not worth the cost to use like a cheaper model, right? Like if any of my clients had seen that Chinese thing, that would completely derail my credibility. So you need to make sure that, you're not just trying to overemphasize for cost, because it's a game, right? If you can do good work, do good value in the beginning, it's going to get to that point where you're going to be making back that cost that you paid. And the thing about it is the AI models are not that expensive. 4.1 mini, 4 turbo mini, like you can really get away with not having to spend too much. So, I would say like use free tools for sure. DeepSeek free for sure is fine. Just make sure that if you're doing that, it's like a scale, right? The cheaper it is, the more you have to validate. The more expensive it is, the more you can trust. Another issue I had with Apify. So Apify is the platform that I use for my API scraping, my lead scrapers, just for any web API tool people make it on Apify. And so I had accidentally had Apify basically works the way you can rent some actors, and actor is just basically the tool that someone made to do some sort of scraping. And I had one I was using for testing that didn't turn off in terms of like paying for the rent. So that kind of made me not be able to do as much volume as I wanted because I used most of my Apify credits. I think I actually ended up having to pay for more. So I'll say, just make sure you're keeping everything in track. If you're using Apify, make sure you don't let things go off. Another issue I had was unverified emails, and that leads to bounces. So you can see one of my campaigns actually has a bounce warning. I'm just going to show you that here, right? And that happens. You can actually turn it off. Sometimes you can. It's really up to you. If you like want to play more risky with your domain, you can turn off the bouncing protection and then just kind of send the emails off. So I think what happened was I had forgot to add a verification process to my pipeline to make sure that the emails are valid. I think I had actually validated them, but I forgot to filter out the entries that were invalid. And I was using LeadMagick for that. So that's just another thing to make sure about, is that you don't upload the list without verifying all of the emails, because again, that can cause bounces or instantly will just pause it. So, again, these are just some of the tooling problems. And so going into the future, I think I really do believe in cold email. I think if you can find like a very good niche copy and offer, like you can make so many sales, so many leads will just come from your lead generator. It's going to be crazy. So I definitely believe in process. I definitely believe in, making sure I can make it as tight as possible so that I can grow the agency through the cold email so well. I think like cold email is even good because if you're using a place like Upwork to try and find clients, it's going to be so tough because each time you find a client, you have to build out this bespoke build for them, and it can take time and, all those things. But through cold email, you literally just sell what you want to give to them. So you can make a productized offer, sell it to them with cold email, and if they like it, they pay you there and then, right? And you don't have to pay like Upwork fees or Fiverr fees or anything like that. So I really do think that locking into cold email is going to be something that's going to be beneficial for me, for you, for anyone that's watching this video. And just, I would say, learn from the mistakes I've made. Hopefully, you guys, in my next video, I'm going to show you a campaign that was actually successful and then break down the reasons why that was successful versus this one. And, hopefully that just shows like, okay, how do we actually do this in a useful way? So next steps, I switched. So some of these steps I've already done, but just kind of based on what I just showed of why that campaign failed, these are the next steps I have from that, right? So switching to Zapmail, to get mailboxes, Zapmail I think is very good because you're able to save a lot of costs on Zapmail versus something like Google Workspace. So I definitely highly recommend Zapmail. Using Claude instead of DeepSeek for personalization to avoid any issues, even though Claude might be more expensive. I know it's good for copywriting. Launching new niches. So making sure that the niches I do are either something I'm very familiar with or something that I've done a lot of research for. I'm not going to try and do niches just because I heard other people are doing them and that they're successful. I need to make sure I understand that niche so that I can actually create a good copy, a good offer for them. And then, like I mentioned, adding a demo link to my follow-up so that when I follow up with people, if they say they're interested in listening to more from me, they actually see, 4K, clear as day, exactly what they're going to be getting by working with me. And then the last thing, like I mentioned, was just sharpen my offer, make sure that, I understand what they actually want from me and I can deliver value in the offers that I'm telling people. So yeah, that's a bit about, my cold email campaign, why it failed and what I'm going to be doing next. I wanted to quickly show you guys, from this campaign, even though it wasn't as good, there was still like 2 book meetings that I was able to actually have. One person who said it was just too expensive for them at the time and another person who was interested. And then these were just, or, some people that were interested but didn't follow up. Someone that booked a call that ghosted. And then the rest were. So like 8, 9, 10, 11, not too bad, right? 11, like pretty positive replies that I could have done something with. And if you think about the lifetime value of these deals, like that's like tens of thousands. Like each deal, right, I could say if I sold a productized offer, that could have been 11K from just this campaign. So that just kind of shows you like the potential of an email campaign if you're able to like really make it worth it. And so it's really important to like do things that really make sense. So yeah, that's a bit about my campaign, why it failed, what I'm going to be doing next, and hopefully you guys learn from this. Hopefully you guys see that, okay, it's not just, I'm not, like this girl is saying, hey, I'm just making 10K a month and everything I do turns to gold. Or it's like, it's a process. Like every business is a journey. We're learning, and I'm just here sharing my journey and learnings with you guys. So hopefully you guys find value from this. Let me know in the comments what you guys would like to see next, what you guys think about this video. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, and make sure to join my AfroAutomators waitlist. We're going to be building a killer community there. So I hope to see you guys there as well. And yeah, all the best.